August to October. That's not very much time to really get ready for a backcountry hunt. I mean, you've got all the e-scouting to do, all the planning to do. You got to find out where you're going to go in, the trailhead, where the mule are going to be, where the elk going to be, what time of year is it, are they breeding, are they in sanctuaries?
Well, because our early season, all our early e-scouting was focused on the unit we thought we were going to draw.
Right.
Which would have been first rifle,
right.
So a different season,
yep.
a different area, and then all of a sudden that was gone and we had to pivot.
Yeah. We came up with a really good e-scouting plan, and the great thing about plans are they're great till you get there, and what we've learned every single year when we go hunting, anything you do on the topo map and Onyx, you get there and it's just a different story. We were planning to hike back into a very remote area that was about 6 miles from the truck, and our original plan was to stay back there 4 or 5 days. As we were walking to our spot where we were going to camp and hitting certain pins we had dropped to glass for elk sanctuary, we soon realized that all that grass we were looking at was green rocks, moss-covered rocks. Yep. So all the sanctuaries that we thought we were going to be getting into when we got back there didn't exist. There was no elk sanctuary.
The whole plan felt like it was going up in smoke every step we took.
Dance for me.
We get back in there, we get our camp set up, we get out of the tent, it's 4:45, it's literally 24 hours to the dot from us leaving Texas. We noticed some stuff moving across the flat up top, and up there it looks really flat, but it's not, and everything looks really close, and it's not. Got out the spotting scope and the binos, and sure enough there was a couple mule deer kind of feeding on a ridge.
Hey, muleys. Our tree line. One of them was pretty big bodied that's facing us.
One of them looked to be pretty big, good bodied size. I was like, well, that could be a buck, and it's, you know, leading up to the rut. So we elected just to go ahead and go for it.
Right.
Move in, cut the distance, and take a look.
Yeah, I mean, take a chance. We're there to hunt. Let's put something on the ground.
Throw the spotting scope up, look up on this ridge, and there's 4 good bucks bedded.
Yeah.
And one of them was pretty dang good. 2 of them are really good, actually. Yeah. And so we said, okay, let's make a move on those. And when we popped up on that flat, we were 562, 63 yards from the deer, and they started getting uneasy. Yeah. And so I said, okay, that's a shot I think I can take. Yep. And so I got laid out prone on a rock, got the gun up on a sandbag, and Peter was spotting for me.
Got him. Yep. He's down. He's down.
Good hit.
Is he down?
Yes.
On the first day.
And it was just unreal. First day, first hour of hunting, and we had a bullet and a deer. And he bedded on a ridge and was kind of slowly dying, and we elected to go ahead and slip in and cut the distance and put another one in him. And when I saw that deer fall over and finally put my hands on the deer, it just flooded me. I just couldn't believe that God blessed us with an animal of that caliber on the first hour of the first day. It was just unreal. It was just unreal.
Unbelievable. Pete and I left yesterday from Texas at 4:45. Got into our spot after all day hiking, drove all through the night, got up here, hiked all night, or hiked all day, and we got, it's really kind of a crappy situation. We got to our spot, we were cliffed out, there's tons of rocks. We've been looking at the spot on the map for 9 months, and we just didn't know it was gonna be that cliffy and that rocky. And so we were just like, I guess we'll try to move in the morning. And we set up camp, and we got out, and cameraman looks up and says, hey, look, some deer out there. And we start moving in closer, see if there's a buck, and then we spot a second group. And then we saw a third group that had 4 big bucks in it. And we worked in at them and used kind of the topography to our advantage in the sagebrush. It looks real flat, but it kind of rolls. And we were able to get to 562 yards and put 2 in them. And these are just big, tough animals.
Yeah.
And we had to run up here and put another one in. But
Well, and dude, he was dead after the first shot.
oh, he was dead. Just, he's tough.
Yeah.
But first day, first hour of hunting, we got out of our tent at 4:40. Literally 24 hours later after leaving Texas, and we are on deer. And his deer, he is 2 miles from our camp. We covered 2 miles.
Gosh.
This morning we glassed a little bit for elk. It's about 11:30. We didn't get this deer skinned out till well after dark last night, so we just hung it here, hiked back to camp, and so we're about to pack this thing out. It's about 6 miles back to the truck, and we're gonna take our time, kind of hunt our way out, check some spots to come back in here for elk. But it's a good morning and a good evening, and no bears got it, which I wasn't too concerned. But now the real work begins.
Found a spot where there were no trucks. We had a really good vantage point to see a lot of country, not that we could make a move on anything from up there, and decided, well, we're here, it's almost dark, we'll go ahead and sit and glass for a little bit. But the wind that night was just awful.
It's like 40-mile-an-hour straight line wind right in your face.
Oh gosh, and so cold, and so none of the glass would sit stable and all that, and it was just kind of the sour cherry on top of that bad Sunday. Most of the nights, we were pretty fortunate with the weather. I mean, we didn't have any precipitation all week, but it was pretty darn cold and it was windy. But having a good mountain house meal, peak refuel, that helped, getting that good hot food in your belly before you go to bed. Have your mind running about like, where are the elk? Are we gonna find elk? What are we gonna do next? So that morning, walked down in there and got to the end of the road and could kind of see around the base of that mountain and look up that next hillside. And I was like, man, that looks promising. So I suffered and climbed all the way up that face, which was thick with brush and steep, and finally saw what was to my eyes an elk mecca. Yeah. I mean, it had thick, dark timber up at the top. It had an open face with aspens, had previously been a burn, we figured out when we hiked over there.
Yeah.
There's good grass on the hill. And then at the base of the valley, between my hillside and the elk's hillside, there was a good creek that you could hear running down through there. And I was like, man, this is everything they talk about.
Shoot all the way up to the left at the base of the dark timber.
So you just saw a spike come beating down out of this tree line. He was up in the dark timber where we expected him to be, and he's feeding out across this open face, across this kind of avalanche chute. We're gonna keep watching, hoping that maybe his big brother or his daddy will come out. We'll get a chance to chase something right at the base of that clump. Yes.
Dude, you don't think you can cut the distance?
I don't know, man. Because that's sticking out.
Dude, those are freaking studs. Can you cut it to 7?
I don't know. I can try.
Cut it. Just if you can, we
always try. Yeah. Because you never know, they might not back me in here. Ball him.
For me to make a shot, I was gonna have to drop down, I don't know, 150 feet of elevation and cut across this hill face, side hilling across the steep stuff.
I'm tempted to walk around and see if I can find a spot that's a little bit closer, so we'll know where to go for the morning. Because if I can find a spot on this side that's in range, we'll be golden.
We've got elk here. We saw that spike. I think we've got to just stay here. Like you've said, you don't leave elk to find elk. We've got to be in this spot for as long as we can and see if they'll make a mistake and give us an opportunity. We were scrambling down that hill. It was steep and rough with lots of blowdown. And so I'm trying to get down there as quick as I can, but not make a ton of noise. And Jeff's right behind me trying to keep the camera from bashing into trees. Partway down the hill, the sling stud pulled out of my rifle stock and my rifle goes tumbling down the hill. Recovered the rifle, everything looked fine. I was not confident enough at that moment in what or how had caused the miss, so I wasn't going to be winging shots at elk and take a chance at missing something. Yeah. I mean, if I'd got shot that elk, we never would have found it.
Shoot. Got a shot. It's in the trees. So he went straight in to the same group of trees that they walked out of last night. Okay. So I think this evening I need to be in a firing position. I think that would be better. Yeah, I do too. Because then we could take our time setting up a position as opposed to trying to rush and get one on.
Felt like we found elk, we had a shot opportunity, that was our chance, and then we couldn't seal the deal.
We went down to BLM land and said, hey, let's check the rifle, make sure everything's good. Sure enough, I mean, you drop a rifle and it tumbles down a mountain. Oh, yeah. Like, you know, you've got to check things. And sure enough, he's about 3 inches low and 3 inches right. And you translate that out to 700 yards, and that's exactly where he hit. We got the scope re-zeroed. Pete did a track test. Everything was functioning perfectly. And so even though we had an unfortunate situation and it took a really bad spill, it was still performing flawlessly. Yeah,
and we were back in the game.
We were back in the game. We had complete confidence that we could make it happen at that point. So
well, and we're hunting with suppressors now, which has been a change for us over the past couple of years. And that elk barely even picked up his head at the shot.
Yeah, he went back to feeding.
And so we knew, okay, we missed, but we didn't disturb these elk. Mm-hmm. If we go back in there, there's a good chance we may get another shot at this.
Yep. So we packed right back into that ridge. And mind you, we're not camping on this ridge. We're packing in and out every single time we go in. So there's a lot of walking in and a lot of walking out. But we get in there that night and crickets.
Yeah.
We didn't see anything. So then the doubt starts creeping in.
Right.
And I'm like, well, was that our opportunity? Was that our chance? Was that, You
Yeah.
know, was that all we had? Went back in there the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
We did see the spike bull that morning.
Right.
Now, the next morning was our last day.
Right.
So we had a lot of hope that we were going to get in there that morning and see something. And we
Yep.
got in there and just saw the spike bull, which in Colorado, you can't kill a spike. It's got to have 4 points on one side. The morning hunt's over. We're going to pack out a while, try to develop some kind of plan.
Yep.
So we thought, okay, they're probably pretty safe in there. We know we didn't disturb them. There's a good chance they're bedding in there. And I bet if I get in there and make some noise, not really harass them, but just make them a little uncomfortable where they might get up and move out a little earlier. You know, it's a last day Hail Mary. That's what we were thinking. I found out why they liked that spot. I got cliffed out twice. The amount of blowdown you had to go through, I crossed 3 or 4 massive boulder fields. It took me about an hour to go half a mile down to where I thought that ridgeline was. And I didn't even make it all the way down to where we really thought the elk were because it was so nasty. I hike out, meet Jeff, the camera guy, back at his Jeep, and we're kind of conversing, and then we decide to drive all the way back around to the trailhead where Peter has his truck parked, and we're just hanging out. And it's the last 20 minutes of the hunt, and we're, you know, you go through all the scenarios of like would've, could've, should've, you know,
Yeah.
still a good hunt, all the things. And Peter shoots me a text. He's like, I'm so upset, man. There's a rock at 1,100 yards. I'm just gonna shoot that rock to say I shot that rock, and I'm gonna hike back to the truck. And we were like, we shot him a text back. No, man, just 20 more minutes.
Yep.
Just wait 20 more minutes.
So, I mean, it was shortly after I sent that text to these guys, I was like, I don't have that many opportunities to shoot that far in mountain terrain. I'm going to take this chance to shoot a rock, test out my scope and stuff, and see how it goes. And Travis talked me down from that. I was like, you're right. We spent a long time to be here. Let's hunt the last few minutes out. And, I mean, it was not 5 minutes after I sent that message that the bulls started feeding right out of the timber exactly the way they had done before. I only had, I don't know, 20 minutes of light left. It was getting dark fast, and they were way out there. I was like, man, we found the elk, but I'm not gonna get a chance. They're not gonna come close enough. I had kind of resigned myself to just sit up there, soak in the moment, like, we finally found where elk are, but I'm not coming home with anything. And then just kind of felt like, gotta take one more gamble, you know, I'm gonna roll the dice.
Did you see that last text I sent you?
Yeah.
I said, get to 800 and send it.
Yeah. So I bombed down the hill again, got the tripod in the sandbag, found a really nice flat spot where I could go fully prone, tripod all the way out, and that big bull had worked down, and he was standing out there right at 800, broadside, calm. There was no wind. I was like, man, I think I can make that shot. I feel pretty good about that. I dialed it up, held, and sent it. And man, it felt so good
Right behind the shoulder.
to watch that bullet just drop right where I put it.
So we're sitting there, and like my Garmin instinct leans up. I look down. No spaces, no punctuation, just all jumbled up. Bull down, bull down, bull down, bull down. And we're tearing out 1.5 miles down this mountain in the dark on a waypoint that he dropped on a map, thinking that's where the elk was. And so we tear down through there, and we hit every bit of blowdown, every boulder field, every avalanche chute. It was like 1.5 miles to that elk. It wasn't that far, and it was pure agony every step of the way. And mind you, this is the end of the week, 7 days in the backcountry. You're just exhausted anyways. We get it to the ridgeline where the pins drop, and it's a little off, and not too far, but we can't see Pete, so I just start, you know, yoo-hoo, Peter, and he hits us up with his headlamp, and we start making our way over to this elk. I saw how big he was, and we were supposed to leave the next morning, and I was like, I don't know how we're gonna get this elk off the mountain.
Yeah.
He was a horse.
Oh my gosh.
He was a horse.
Yeah. I couldn't believe when I walked up on it, how big that animal was.
Right.
I mean, we haven't killed an elk
Right,
before,
right,
you know, and
yeah.
so like, first time I walked up on it, I was like, oh my God.
Plan was at that point, let's get them boned out, hung in bags, hung in a tree to get the bears out. We'll take some meat out, a small load that night, and then get back in there in the morning with a pack horse to get the rest off the mount.
All right, packs loaded, 100 pounds, elk meat going down. Oh, no, not like that.
All that time thinking about this 1 week and training for this 1 week, practicing shooting, dialing in your equipment, running all the miles, rucking all the miles, doing all the things so that one of us could be successful.
Right.
Kind of bettering our odds that we'd come home with something.
Right.
So then to come home with 2 unbelievable animals
Right.
was just such a blessing.
Yep.